Hey, welcome back to the Signature Movement. It's your girl Tanya D. Floyd. I'm sitting here being quiet before I go get the boy from the bus stop. I had a thought yesterday I did not share with you at the time because I like to get my stuff all together before I put it out there. But I think I know how to do it today, so I'm gonna try it today. Family. Family was on my mind yesterday. Um Let me pause right there on that piece and say I've been studying. Okay, so every day I go scrolling through social media for my inspiration, my laugh for the day, my, whatever I need to get me in, um not in the mood, but whatever I need before I actually go engage with people and stuff, right? So, I was on social media looking for my jokes and I found a lot of other stuff, but I've been doing this educational journey on ADHD and other behavioral issues. Not that those are together or that they're the same. ADHD, I study that, and I study behavioral issues. And for those who don't know, okay, so when I went to college all those years ago, I started off as a psychology major. And then, I mixed in some behavioral science with that because I needed a good foundation of mental health, and just I wanted to know all I could about how people tick and interact and why relationships are this or that way, and just all about the inner workings of people. I've always been intrigued by the inner workings of people and their motives, and nature versus nurture, like how much of this is genetic versus how much of this is about your environment, and da 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 da. My environment, I'm not gonna say it was all bad all the time, but my environment kind of was a spark for me to learn about why people are the way they are. Anyway, I switched over at some point to communications because I realized I did not want to be in a clinical environment. So I didn't want to use what I was learning like a psychologist or a therapist or a social worker or any of that. I knew I was going to be a writer, a communicator, but I wanted to come at it from a perspective of I understand people before I came to you with an article about marriage or, parenting or family, anything. So that's my history. But anyway, ever since then, I've never stopped studying human behavior and interactions. Interpersonal communication. I study that as part of my journalism credit. I never wanted to be a journalist, not reporting the news. I want to be like a media type, like today's media. It's not just the news. It's about the blogs, the podcasts, the informed people on specific subjects who I'm watching right now. I want to be like that. So that's what I went to school to do. Anyway, so I go every day, look for my jokes and my inspirations, but I also go do a specific amount of time during the middle of the day where I study ADHD, and then I study other things to do with behavioral science. And well, lately I've been studying a lot about narcissists, and I got some suspicions about some folks, so I've been studying some stuff. Okay, I've been doing my research. But anyway, back to the part about the family. All of this ties in. I'm gonna wrap it up and put it in a nice bow for you. But how this works is, so I sat one day last week and looked at myself and said, honestly, ADHD is bigger than me. It's kicking my ass. I'm not gonna try to keep up with it no more. I'm done with all that. I just gotta yeah, just keep my head above water and see what I can do until I can't do it no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like things that the boy is doing. I know it's ADHD, but like when I'm doing my studies, I have not found sufficient material from brown skinned people who are telling me about how they've implemented some, strategy and it worked for them, or how I should do blah, blah, blah. Because I got to tell you, it's a whole cultural difference out here between how I'm doing things and how they out there doing things. They don't look like me. They didn't come up like I came up, and they not like Me and my kids. Like some of the videos I see, I already be like, when they start talking, I be like, scroll. Cause it's almost like that whole gentle parenting theory that they doing now, or that whole, you know, putting people in timeout. You know how they was doing all that back in the day with the timeouts and the whole. Nah, it wasn't no timeouts. Ain't no timeouts around here. I have on occasion put a toddler in timeout, but I will mostly look a toddler in the eye and be like, "Do you really want this?" And they be like, "No." And we good. We understand each other perfectly. That's not part of gentle parenting, and it's not part of the timeout theory. So, I want to see people like me telling me about the ADHD, but so far, I'm just trying to keep it very medical and very psychiatric because ADHD is not attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, even though that's what the name says. That ain't what it is. It's a psychiatric condition. Like bipolar disorder is one, borderline personality disorder is one, narcissistic personality disorder is one. What's the other one? Histrionic personality. It's so many personality disorders that have to do with emotional regulation and human interaction and that whole thing. So nah, it's not. They can't be still and they can't focus. It's not that. It's so much more than that. And I'm very, very well informed versus what I used to be when I first heard about the diagnosis, but I gotta tell you so much about it. Let me put it to you like this. This is when I realized that I don't quit, but I quit. I realized that I had to, just stop trying to get ahead of it and control it because I'm never going to catch up to it. Because I realized it is a multifaceted. Let me tell you about this boy in particular, my son. My son has a genetic disorder. He was born with it. I knew about it when I was 5 months pregnant. He has an extra chromosome. So that gives him thousands of combinations of variation on who he gonna be, right? In a psycho, what do you call it? When it's the mind and the body? Yeah, that. It affects many things. So I got all those dimensions going on, right? Then ADHD comes is a part of that, a piece of that, with all of its dimensions. And then let's think about individuals in particular. Just individuals. Every individual you meet has so many thousands of variations of who they are and how they are and what they want to do and what they want to be and all of that mixed up in one body. I can't get ahead of that. I can't beat that. I can't even chase that. Nah, I'm going to be dead trying to make myself, put ADHD in a place where I can manage it for him or with him. I can't manage it. It will not be managed. I don't care. Go do your own research. It will not be managed. They internally, individually, can find tools to help them manage that stuff. But even if they get a medication or a regimen, they still got struggles because I don't know if any of the people with ADHD can fully understand it, even though they're feeling it. Sometimes they need somebody on the outside to tell them, this is why that, da, 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 da. And then they can move through it better. But it's bigger than all of us. I'm going to just say that. You can disagree with me if you want to, but it's kicking my ass, okay? So, basically, one of these days, the boy was moving around, frustrating me to no end because he was and I know I started this out talking about family. I'm gonna put it in a nice little bow, wrap it up for you. Hold on, it's gonna go together. But so the boy was walking around here like slowly, not really urgent about what I said to do or this and that and the other. I get it. Executive function having to do with intention and motivation and all of that stuff. It don't work. It don't work. So I can't expect him to just do what I said with joy and with speed unless there's $5 waiting at the end of it or $20 or a new pair of shoes or something. Then he might get a little faster, but for the most part, I'm living with Eeyore. And he hates it when I call him that, so I'm gonna stop calling him that. But I swear, Eeyore, Winnie the Pooh best friend, the little donkey, the little gray, he hang his head all the time and he move and he talk slow. Eeyore. That's what I live with. Every time something need to be done, oh God, if it's got anything to do with that bedroom, Eeyore. Or he just sit there for minutes and I can hear him moving under me or not moving. And I always go, it don't sound like you're doing what I told you to do. And he be like, I am. I bet you in his mind he probably think he is. He's sitting on the bed going through in his mind all the things he got to do. And he probably says at some point, you know what? I need to pick those shoes up right there and put them in that closet right there. I need to do this. I bet you he can mentally go, I need to do this, and this. But formulating an actual plan for what to do first and how much time it takes and all of that, he's incapable of that kind of executive function. It does not work properly because knowing is separated from doing when you got ADHD. I understand. I am a mechanical, scientific minded, analytical, strategic, all the way to the bone person that goes, okay, there's a method for everything if we understand the thing. If you take it apart and you examine everything, you can understand how to put it back together better. That's me all day. Can't do that with him. Can't do that with ADHD. As much as I understand about it, I'm still going to be frustrated at the end of the day because, oh my God, it's not going to get done. And it's not about control or me feeling like he just got to do what I said because I said it. Well, technically it is because I'm the damn parent. Yeah, you do what I said because I said it. But as much as I would like to not get mad about it, I'm going to keep getting mad about it because, God dang it, I'm frustrated because who else going to do it? And because, I ain't got no help. Okay. Now I can bring in the part about the family. This is why I was thinking about it. I was sitting in the park having my brew, looking at nature, getting my vitamin D, healing myself, repairing myself, because I be feeling worn out, tore up, broke down more often than I would like. Yes, absolutely. But I got to thinking about support systems and how, back in the day, I'm going to keep going, back in the day family situations. It was not ideal. It was not perfect. It was mine, though. I grew up with my mother, very, very present. It was just me and her in that apartment up on Randolph Street for a long time. My little brother was born when I was 9 years old. I had a whole lifetime with my mother before that, okay? Before she met that man and got married and all that. Okay. So anyway, I had her. I had access to my father and my stepmother and my two brothers over that side. Had access to everybody. But I spent the most time in my youth at my grandmother's house with, let me see, how many, I had 11 aunts and uncles on that side, on my mother's side. So, well, two of them died before I met them. So I had 10 at all times. My grandmother had 10 kids who I had frequent interaction with in my youth, okay? My mother and her 9 siblings that lived. So, at any given time, my grandmother's house would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 uncles and 3 aunts at the house. All the time. Okay? 2, 3 of them lived downstairs, 2 of them lived upstairs, whatever. But I was always surrounded by grandmother, grandfather, aunts, and uncles. My grandfather used to work at night. My mother worked at the Heck Company. She worked retail hours, which was not like 9 to 5. It could have been she left the house at 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever, and she worked till 9 that night. It could have been any of that crazy hour situation, and her day off might have been like Sunday, let's say that. But I did not want for anything. I was not lacking in anything because I had an entire family of her siblings and their children who I was growing up with. So about family, here's the thing I was thinking. The family unit is necessary for society to function, period. Okay? whether you are related to these people by blood or you go to a church, synagogue, Kingdom Hall, or wherever you go and find you a new spiritual family, you will have surrogates. People you have clung to because they have become your new family because of where you are in your life at this point and what you believe and how you live. You will find your people and those people will support you. Without that family, you will be out here flailing and at a loss. Okay. Raise your hand if you feel like you flailing. Yeah, Tanya D. Floyd is flailing. Okay. Not because I lack family, but I have noticed at this point in my life. Now, I've been through a restructuring a few times. I've restructured after the separation. I restructured after the divorce. I restructured a couple of times after that I always restructure because, you got to reevaluate the personnel in your life. And if they not filling those roles of family, support system, encouragement, and help with your kids, then you short, right? So you got to get rid of them people. The people who don't bring nothing to the party can't come to the party. That's what my adult life has taught me. If you ain't bringing nothing, you can't come. Nope. And I did a couple of videos before when I was talking about these new kids, our kids, this generation where they, want everything given to them, handed to them, blah, 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 but they don't want to contribute. And they don't never see the fact that, if this is the structure and grandma did this and auntie and uncles did this and, these people put the family reunions together and they did all the functions and did all the cooking. Everybody knows who was doing all the cooking at the functions and who put all the food on the table and who was going to clean up at the end. If you know that's the structure, then you should know that at some point you got to fall in and become that, right? These kids don't think like that. But anyway, back to the family. So, all of that was happening in my youth. I always had a whole lot of relatives hanging around who I knew was part of the system. Now, my mother's generation had that kind of support. We had aunts, uncles, grandparents. Everybody seemed to be on the same page when I was coming up, because if I got in trouble with one person for something, I knew the other person wasn't going to turn their head if I did that thing, because they was all like, you ain't supposed to be doing that. Nah, you in trouble, I'm going to tell you. And I told them I tell. So, I had the system. Now, I'm raising my kids, and I noticed a serious lack of system. It wasn't like when my two older kids were young. It wasn't the same. It had started to deteriorate already. And I wish I could put my finger on it. I don't even have time to try to track down. I think about it sometime, but it take up too much time and I got to let it go. But I wish I could put my finger on when and how and who, but somehow the pieces got knocked out of place. And when I was raising my younger kids, the consistency wasn't there. There were more dissension and what do you call it? Deceit. There was so many other things going on where people were now telling your kids things that they shouldn't tell them, giving them ideas about how to rebel against you and stuff. Like, what? Huh? No. Wasn't no rebelling when I was young. Everybody grown was on the same page. As far as I was concerned, I wouldn't dare try to get away with something in front of nobody grown. I knew I was getting in trouble. My kids, some people tried to give them an audience and were like in cahoots with them, like, yeah, your mother is going a little crazy ever since she married that man, or, ever since y'all moved out there, or she's so different. Just, what? Now, mind you, these people weren't full-fledged adults in their 20s, 30s, and beyond, but still enough influence to make the kids second guess me and look at me crazy and sometimes talk to me crazy. Okay, you get out of pocket with me. It's only so much I'm going to take before I start shutting down. I'm going to have to get to the point where we turn in this corner and I'm driving, so I'm going to do some outrageous shit that's going to make you go, what the hell is wrong with her? But if that don't work, and nothing else I've done seems to work, I got to check out on you. I'm sorry. You on your own. Go be with your support system. If you still gotta live here, we're gonna be real tense about it. I don't understand. But family. Find your family unit. Structure it so that it's people of like mind, of like spirit, of like, you know, goals and dreams and aspirations and things, who understand where you are and what you're trying to do and who won't turn your kids against you. So, yeah, I'm sitting over here with this. I have one ADHD parent buddy. We compare information sometimes. We don't like compare our kids because they different. They're in different age groups and everything. But still, we still share information because we in this fight. She fighting like I'm fighting. It's hard as hell. We understand it's hard as hell out here with this ADHD fight. So we support each other and we support each other's kids in that. Whew. But sometimes I feel like the group ain't big enough because a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't even believe it's real. And even if people are compassionate and empathetic about it, they don't necessarily have the time and research into the project to be able to be of really good assistance, if that makes any sense. So as far as support system goes, I'm out here flailing and failing because I don't have enough. And with the school system, there's supposed to be professionals in place to help him, implement the tools to help him have a better, more successful time in school, but they don't get it either. And I'm like, how the hell am I getting all this information and, trying to stay on the bike and keep the bike upright? But it seems like I'm the only one. Nobody around me can help me keep the bike up. Like, what? How is that possible? He's been a therapist. I had a good therapist at one point, but the insurance changed, and now we don't get to use her. But I got to find him somebody else. But as I'm going through interactions and interviews with different people for different things, I'm realizing people just don't get it, and that is so frustrating. Like, somebody got to know more than me. I don't know enough. But somebody out there who's in a position to counsel my son or mentor my son or help my son advance has got to know more than I do. Why do I know the most out of the people I'm dealing with? That pisses me off. So I got to carry all that along with all the other baggage that I have in my own personal life. And every day is a struggle in here. I got to fight with ADHD, literally fight with ADHD. It's kicking my ass, y'all. I'm not sad. It's not like, oh my God, I'm never going to win. It's just, okay, I take my breaks when I got to take my breaks. I exhale when I got to exhale. I step away when I got to step away. But, jeez, somebody out here got to know more than me about the thing and can help me at some point, right? But, again, back to the family thing. So, I was just thinking, like, again, when I grew up, I had people all over the place who I could go to for different things. Each aunt offered me something different. And then I had my father's side too. I didn't see them as much, but I had aunts and uncles over there too. It's like, what, 8 or 9 of them over there. So I had aunts younger, closer to my age, aunts older, closer to my mother's age, but it's only I ain't gonna tell her business or nothing, but it's only a 17-year difference between me and her. So I had people at all kinds of levels where I could do different stuff with, get away with different stuff, like not, bad stuff, but like, who gonna walk to the corner store because I'm a kid. I got another kid with me, but she an older kid. It was just great to have aunts and uncles who were young, okay? Cousins too. Cousins everywhere. I was the oldest on my mother's side. I'm the oldest cousin over there. I'm not the oldest on my father's side, but still, just people everywhere. Any child in that family had levels of support and, people to play with. And just, there were no worries. There was no trouble for kids when I was growing up in my family because we just had people everywhere. So I swear I don't understand why life got to be so hard, or when, or again who is responsible. But somehow the things started falling apart. And I remember when my older son was a teenager and he was tripping and he was trying to go live with his father, and he was all you all bad, and I'll do better over there, and they got a different structure over there because he was remarried and things. So in his mind, well, I think I'll just do better over there. You thought it was gonna be. Never mind, we not going down that road. But anyway, whatever he thought it wasn't. So yeah, when he was younger and he was lunching, I did not have like a list of men who I could call and get involved, who would put that hand on his shoulder and say, young man, no, no. I had people around, but the dynamic had changed. There was no one. I wrote a poem about it once. What's it called? I'm gonna find that poem. I don't remember what I named it, but it was mostly because I was frustrated because I couldn't find anybody to set him straight. People were switched over to, no, I can't get involved at that point. But that's not what I knew. It was always somebody involved, advocating, speaking up, challenging. I remember it was a couple of fights, not fist fights, but a couple of big old blowouts at my house before because some adults disagreed on how they was treating me. And hey, I wasn't supposed to hear it probably, but nah, it was a whole lot of that girl so and so age. I'm taking her. Oh, my aunt took me to the New Edition concert. I was 13 years old. My uncle was like, she don't need to go to no New Edition concert. My aunt was like, you mind your business, I'm taking her. My mother didn't really have a whole lot to say when I was there, but them two went at it. But interaction, support, advocacy, all of that was there. But when I was raising my kids, it seemed like everybody went away. But yeah, so the point I was trying to make is find your people, find your structure, find your family, because your kids need it. That structure, that just the ability to go call on somebody for something other than a pair of shoes. Kids these days need so much more advocacy, education, support. They need to know that there are actual adults who are going to hold them accountable outside of their parents. Let me tell you about my idea of how the thing was supposed to work. I remember now what the catalyst was. I was watching something on Facebook, and this little kid was acting a whole fool with his mother. And his father walked up on him, and he straightened up. And his father snapped his fingers and motioned for him to sit down. He sat his ass down and shut the hell up immediately. And I was like, mothers and fathers have different roles. They have different effects on their children, but everyone is needed. Each one of them is necessary in a child's life because they bring different things to the party. The party can't be successful if everybody not bringing their piece. That's what I got to thinking about when I was driving home from the park yesterday. And that's what I was supposed to tell you about today. But it all got mixed up together, and here I am. And I hope this makes sense. But yeah, the structure is lacking, and we need that. Our society, our culture is breaking down because we don't have the structure that we supposed to have. We got some bullshit IKEA furniture structure. I ain't saying IKEA is crap. I ain't saying it's cheap, but it ain't as strong as it could be, and it ain't as good as it should be for lasting benefits. IKEA is disposable furniture for people who just need it for a little while or for one purpose, and they're going to get rid of it. It's not built for longevity. It's just not. You got to reinforce it. You got to add things to it. These bullshit ass families out here, right now, IKEA furniture. Sorry. family furniture, whatever little rinky-dink store that we used to have with furniture. Bob's, my son's bed broke 3 times, Bob's. The boy is 200 pounds and he's almost 6 feet tall. He might be 6 feet by now. He's big. He's the only one in the bed, though. Why I keep breaking? Come on, Bob's. Tell me. It ain't built for longevity. It's just not easy, boy. It's not, what is it? Not easy. Lazy boy. It's not lazy boy. It's not Ethan Allen. It just ain't. I don't mean to be tossing brands around like this, but y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. It's just everything out here is about microwave and disposable mentality. It's not built for longevity. It's not built for, strength, and it's not built for. It ain't built for nothing for real. Somebody just threw that shit together. It ain't real. So yeah, I find that I am frustrated very often because the structure is lacking. And some hater out there gonna say, you chose why you ain't got no good example for your son. Be quiet. That's all I'm gonna say to you. Be quiet. You don't know nothing about this right here. Yeah. It's tough out here. But if you can find your people and don't mess up no opportunities to find your people. Like, the Bible says, do not forsake the gathering of yourselves together, and, get with people of like mind and this and that and the other, and encourage your brothers and all that. In Hebrews, I think it's Hebrews 10:20. Never mind, I ain't gonna say what I think it is, but it's in Hebrews. But it says, get with your people. But that just means that you have to find your people who are going to encourage you spiritually, and people who are going to help you to be encouraged and to be positive for your kids and to support your family, because y'all are all a new family. I read something on Facebook today. I ain't gonna wrap you up too much, but I read something on Facebook today. It said people get the quote wrong all the time. Blood is thicker than water. Well, we say it all the time, right? But he said the actual saying is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. That makes perfect sense to me. Like, I don't know if that's the real saying or not, but why not make it up a new saying? It could be a new saying. It makes perfect sense. The covenant, like the agreements, the family that you choose, the family that you put together is stronger than those who are not maybe necessarily related to you by the womb or by, blood or whatever the family ties are. The people you choose, those relationships are stronger than the ones you were born into. Think about that. Roll it around for a minute. We grown. We get to choose our people. Yep. I'm just saying. The family structure, the family unit is the only way we're going to save these kids. The only way we're going to keep from having our insides eaten out by stress. We got to find our people. And we got to stop being so, I'm sorry, I'm guilty of being so closed off and I don't trust. That is a trauma response, 100%, absolutely. I'm sure of it. I know it. I am working on it. But we got to let people in so they can help us do what we need to do. And we can help them do what they need to do. Yeah. It's tough finding my tribe at this age with all this crap. But I know that my kids have lacked a lot of structure because I didn't have a tribe that was built for strength and longevity. I had IKEA furniture. But anyway, that was just my thought. And let me know how you feel about it. Hate speech will be ignored. Actually, I might try to reason with you. I don't know. Depends on where I think it's coming from, because human behavior and study of the sciences of behavior and all that thing is my thing. So you probably got some trauma that you're working through yourself when you say the mean things. I might let you slide. I don't know. It depends on how I feel. But yeah, go ahead and let me know your thoughts and comments. And you have a great rest of your day, okay? Toodaloo.